Hey everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day, and as you can already see, I'm back in my apartment or dorm, whatever you like to call it. But I'm gonna be, since there has already been a lot of stuff that has been happening over my spring break, I'm just gonna be focusing on two things. First, I'm gonna be talking about all the firings that have been going on, especially in the Trump administration, and finally, I'm gonna be talking about an already talked about issue, but it's just not big on the news. Trump visiting the state of California and inspecting the border wall and stuff. So, I want to focus on Andrew McCabe and Rex Tillerson. As we already know, Rex Tillerson has already been fired. There has been some debate as to whether or not he just didn't know he was going to be fired or not, well, there's just from two different accounts. On one hand, it's Trump saying that he informed Rex Tillerson that there is going to be a change a few days from now, on March 9th, and he was doing this as a result of the negotiations with North Korea, and a few other changes, like because of differences in agenda, and also the kind of relationship that Rex Tillerson and Donald Trump have with each other. The other side is basically that Rex Tillerson found this out in a tweet. So whatever the case, I don't think it really does matter. The point is, Rex Tillerson is officially out on the 31st of March. It's coming up pretty soon. In fact, it's about 2 weeks from now, as I am playing this video, and already Trump has already named Mike Pompeo, who is currently the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, to take his place as Secretary of State. And there's also this this issue with having this woman named Griswold, I think it was, as the new director of the CIA, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to be focusing on Andrew McCabe and Secretary Rex Tillerson, or former secretary. So, why is Trump doing this with Rex Tillerson? From what I already said before, it's because that he did have some differences of opinion when it came to especially foreign policy. For one thing, he kind of actually wanted to place more restrictions on Russia, while Trump, although not he wasn't really a fan of, he definitely had some problems with Russia, did not exactly want to do anything like that. In fact, Rex Tillerson said during, I think, his testimony to, I think it was a judicial committee for Congress, that he actually supports the sanctions on the Russian Federation because of supposed collusion and also the Crimea occupation by the Russian Federation. So that was one part of it, and it was actually pretty small, but there were a few other things. But, such as, like, currently with North Korea. On one time he actually stated that, North Korea, that the United States is willing to engage with North Korea, while immediately after that, Donald Trump tweeted out that, America is ready to stand firm with its allies and is willing to fight back against North Korea should they do anything like firing a missile over Japan or something like that. So that was obviously a big difference. The other thing is, according to experts, Rex Tillerson wasn't really a good secretary. I'm not here to judge on cabinet positions, but according to a lot of experts, they did say that he was not really an effective secretary. This because he was kind of micromanaging too much of the State Department instead of just allowing it to be like a structured flow of information, but instead he just had to look into everything. And at the same time, I don't know how, but he definitely made the State Department basically lose lots of morale, and that is something that you do not want to have, especially as part of the executive branch. That is something that you don't want. When there's low morale, there's a low chance of getting things done, especially in that department, and that's a bad thing. So right now, Rex Tillerson is out, and Mike Pompeo is in. And personally, I kind of actually approve of this. While I do think that I don't really know too much about Mike Pompeo, I did hear some results about his tenure as director of the Central Intelligence Agency. While director of the CIA, he actually has managed to restructure everything so that way it would be at least simple to manage, and that way he would be actually kind of different from not Donald Trump, Rex Tillerson, that he wouldn't micromanage everything, and this has actually helped improve the morale of the Central Intelligence Agency. So on that side, that would make perfect sense to have Mike Pompeo as the next Secretary of State. Kind of like how John Kelly replaced Reince Priebus as the White House Chief of Staff and actually got everything all together. Another reason is because he actually has a more positive relationship with Donald Trump. He actually is more supportive of Trump and his policies. So when he's placed in the Department of State, that would allow Trump to get have an easier chance of getting his own agenda complete. At least in the executive branch. We're not talking about the legislative at all. That's in fact another story. If the Republicans manage to maintain control of Congress and stuff. But anyway, that I'm getting sidetracked. Next up, Andrew McCabe, former Deputy Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I admit there isn't really too much that I know about, but I'll tell you why I do know. He was fired about maybe 2 days ago, I think it was, or was it 1 day ago? Doesn't matter. He was fired, and the reason why Trump fired him was basically he was a leftover from the Obama administration, and he had strong connections with James Comey, as we already know, who actually testified against, tried to testify against Trump in this whole Russia collusion investigation. So I think that what I think is Andrew McCabe was removed so that the FBI can now focus on a lot of different things instead of just this Russia investigation. He's obviously not trying to stop the investigation because, well, the liberal media would obviously have a fit with this. But I think he's trying to get the FBI to be restructured and build up again, so that way it can actually be the efficient sort of organization it's supposed to be. As we already know, it's kind of been aligned politically with Democrats because a few of the officials in the FBI are actually Democrat. Now, I'm not saying that every FBI is a holder of the Democrats, or that even if they are a Democrat, they are just partisan when it comes to the FBI investigations. Absolutely not. In fact, I'm pretty sure that a majority of FBI personnel are actually just there trying to do their job, earn a paycheck, and trying to be a dutiful citizen and trying to undermine corruption and to stop any abuse of federal power. But the top positions are obviously taken over by Democrats, and it's become now a political, kind of a political machine. So I think that's why Trump actually removed Andrew McCabe. It could be the start of a new firing. No, and it could not just be just Rex Tillerson, McCabe that would be out. But maybe the media has a point saying that this could actually be just the beginning of a number of firings. I don't know. There's a probability, so I'm gonna give that to. If I were to guess, I have no idea who would be the next in line for firing by the president. I'll just have to wait. And currently, right now, I do not know who's gonna be taking over as deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I think we should just wait on that for a little bit. Now, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit briefly because of the time of this video, so I'm pretty sure you're getting bored with it already. But, I think it was last Monday, that President Trump actually visited California. As we already know, California is such a huge progressive state. I mean, very, very, very progressive. As a matter of fact, they actually appointed an illegal immigrant to one of its political posts. I don't know which one it was exactly, but still, that should not be constitutional, because those illegal immigrants are not citizens of this country, and they don't really have that right to hold office in this country. California is not an exception. But I'm getting ahead of myself. He did look at the border wall. The prototypes of the border wall. He did actually try to build a bigger selling point. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out the words. Damn it. But it's kind of hard, especially in California. And I'm pretty and there were a few people who actually were not liking the fact that the President of the United States was here. After all, the President has made some policies that California is extremely against. So, there was obviously some protests over that, but they weren't really focused on. After looking into the border wall, he did go to I forgot what the Marine base is called, but it was near San Diego. So he went over there. He talked about how he's trying to build up the military, which I love and I support, and this proposal that he's just throwing out there of the Space Force. But that's a topic for another time if it's brought up again. But so far, I think that what he's trying to do here to go to California is not only to sell the border wall to the American people. He's trying to sell the American military and his agenda to the American people. That's what this whole plan is about. And especially the reasoning he does it in California is basically it's a hotspot of illegal aliens, as we already know. But it's also a strategic area with a lot of military personnel. California is basically one of the most important places that have military personnel. If you want to be shipped anywhere in the Pacific, that's where you have to go. Either San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. That's basically the starting off point to bring our troops overseas. That's why he's doing that. And of course, California is definitely one of the largest populations in the United States. So I would have to say, so that's what he was trying to do. I'm not sure if it was successful or not, though. because, well, California. But I think that it actually, the fact that he's obviously going to the border wall prototypes, and also looking at the military face to face, he is actually making the obvious distinction that he is going to continue this course, and he's going to continue this agenda. This is something that he wants to do. This is something that he wants. And I think that, I think that this is just another one of the selling points, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be many more selling points that he's going to try to use for the border wall in the future. That's all I have for you today. My name is Noah Miyano, the Arc of Truth. Please comment down below, subscribe, share this video, and of course also like it. See ya.